Perfect.
We are on.
We're on.
We're on. How you feeling today?
Good, actually.
Yeah.
I was a little bit, not nervous. I've been thinking about this conversation a lot and how it's going to go. I get very emotional, to be honest, thinking about all the shit that is obviously going on.
Yeah, and I think, we've obviously been chatting on the lead up to coming today. And I think just so everyone kind of understands our relationship, because I know you've told a couple of people about, who you're having a chat with today. And they're like, how do you know Rhi? So what was it, about 2.5 years ago, I shaved my head for cancer. And you obviously can give your opinion now, but I was I had 1 month to raise 10K. And I think at the time I'd only reached about 5.
I was going to say, I don't even think you had reached half, roughly, of what you were trying to hit a few days out.
And then you slid into my other DMs, and I don't think you had a profile photo at the time. So imagine getting like an inbox message in the other inbox from like a no profile photo. And this guy's like, hey, I want to donate 5K to your cause. And I looked at this message and I was like, is this legit? And then you'd gone and messaged one of my girlfriends at the time.
Because I had a feeling that you weren't going to see the message just because, obviously I knew you had quite a big following. So I was like, I don't reckon she's going to see this. Or if she does, it's not going to be in time.
Well, I think it was actually the weekend before. And I remember my reply to you was, I'm doing an auction for my ponytail at the Henchman because I thought my head was shaved. And I said, come there and you can cut my ponytail off. Yeah. And then your reply was, I'm going to Melbourne. I'm not going to be there. Can I give you the money? So I'm like, I thought this guy's going to roll me. I don't know. He's going to steal me. He's going to steal a rib.
Kidnap.
He's going to kidnap me. So I literally remember I was going for my photo shoot.
Yeah,
so
that's right. You come all fully glammed up.
Fully done up. You know what? I've got the video on my phone.
At the pub. I was there at the pub playing pokies.
Yes. And I remember I said to my mate, I go, oi, can you please wait in the car? Like in case. And I've got the video. We'll have to bring it up. Where I remember I took
that's right. You took a video of the two of us.
And I rock up and you come over and you just whip out 5K in cash and just whips it on the table in the pub. And I'm like, fuck. I'm still shocked. And then we did that video and then we hugged and I walked away and I was like,
It was very quick because I remember you were quite rushed. You had something else to do after.
Yeah.
Or either that or you were probably a bit anxious about seeing
me. I was
you
fucking
just wanted
nervous.
to get out.
I'm like,
get me away from this criminal.
Oh no, you didn't look like a criminal, but I'm like, oh my God, I've never held 5K cash in my hand before in my life. And I was like, what the fuck? I just wanted to take it home. And I think as I was driving and I was like, I can't believe, I couldn't believe what had just happened. So I guess tell me your side and on that, I guess over the years, well, since then, I just see this genuine fucking man, and here we are, right? So I guess tell me your side to what you did.
So I had previously followed you for quite a while. I'm not sure how long, and I was very gravitated towards your energy that you put out with your social media. It's one thing I've always spoken about you. Anyone that we talk about positivity with anyone, I'm always saying, man, you have to follow Rhi. Like she's just, what she puts on her Instagram is just like inspiring. If you're ever feeling down, just go watch Rhi's stories. Like she's just spreads so much positivity. And in my eye, I would have looked at you as someone that was quite heavily in the public eye, just with who you were as a person, quite good looking. And I was just in awe of the fact that you had the confidence to shave your head, not knowing, fuck, you could have come out looking, horrible. And I was like, what sort of female, for one, is good looking, two, quite heavily in the public eye, and three, has quite a massive social media following, has the confidence to do that? And I was just like, wow, like, I don't know, it just took me back a bit because you just don't see that.
Yeah, and I think like that, I really appreciated that because, yeah, you're right. Like, you never know. Like, I had people donate, like, and like people came out of the woodworks, like $50, $100, and that's a lot of money. Like, like 20, even just the thought of doing the thing. And a lot of people had, said the same thing as you, but the fact of the matter that, like, you gave me 5K. So tell me, how did it feel when you gave the 5K to me?
I just felt like it was going to a good cause. Not only, like, I was quite disheartened at the fact that you hadn't hit your goal a week out. And I was just like, wow, like, how is someone like yourself not I just couldn't see how other people didn't look at it the same as me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I genuinely thought you're going to blow that target out of the water.
Yeah.
And then it was like a week out, and I was just like, I just couldn't fathom the fact that you hadn't even hit half of what you were trying to achieve.
Well, I bloody appreciate you because, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have got... I think I ended up hitting 9,600, so it was just under.
Yeah.
So I guess, you know what, now it's been 2.5 years since then. You and I have probably just, always maybe dropped in and out.
Kept in contact a
kept
little
in
bit,
contact
every
and
now
just,
then.
there's always been this positivity. And I think it was maybe before we'd discussed about doing this chat today, right? You had sent me a message, and you reminded me in that message of the impact that I make. And then I remember my response to you was, I swear to fucking God, Trey, you are doing the exact same thing to me as I do to you. Blew my mind, right? And I know you're going through some heavy shit. Well, you've been going through some heavy shit. And I just want, I guess, I want to hear you talk into that because, mindset is fucking huge. And
it makes or breaks.
Absolutely it does. And in my eyes, you are killing it in that space at the moment. So tell me a little bit about, I guess, the last 2 years. What's the journey been?
Okay, so roughly 2 years ago, I was doing what I was doing, businesses, making money. Life was good. Had my daughter 2 years ago. I've been sober 2 years on Christmas.
Holy shit.
But the year prior to that, I'd only drank 6 or 7 times. So I wouldn't classify myself as sober, but I was on the journey. So in my head, I was doing well. Life was good. Had my daughter. I thought I was mentally driven for this sober life and doing well and succeeding in life before my daughter. But watching my missus give birth to my daughter it was a whole nother switch in my mind. And that's when I sort of realized, like, okay, I'm not good. I can still go from here. I've come from here. I'm sitting here. And now I know I need to go here. So invested in a few other businesses that were doing rather very well. Money was rolling in. Kept living my life. I obviously went sober. Christmas, not the one just gone, but the one before.
Yeah.
I haven't drank or touched any substances since then.
So you've obviously, so that's fucking tremendous, by the way. Like, again, hence why I'm so excited about this conversation today. But tell me, before we go fully into the depths of kind of where you're at now, because, I believe you're very resilient. So prior to, donating me $5,000, before I even knew you, Trey, in my space, what was Trey doing?
So my addiction was very bad. Very bad. For about 2.5, 3 years, I was doing more drugs than people have done in a lifetime in a week. Like, I was doing minimum 2 balls a day.
Fucking hell.
Waitresses, strippers, prostitutes, just... But a lot of the time, like, these girls, like, I wasn't even paying them to have sex or whatever. Like, a lot of the times, I was just... I look back at it now and think I was lonely.
Yeah.
Like, I was paying for the companionship. I was just paying for someone to be there with me. And obviously, honestly, I hated being alone. I really did not enjoy being alone at all. Hence why the drug abuse was so bad. Hence why the women were so bad. Hence why I was continuously always trying to make sure that people around me were on the same level as me and inviting people. Like, I was offering to pay people their daily wage to take the days off work just so I could have someone with me while I do what I needed to do.
Can I ask you this? So would you, like, how many people do you know now that are quite lonely?
I would fucking say 80% of the people that are in my life, I know for a fact, are doing the same thing.
Yeah. And obviously yours was at a completely different level, like an escalated level of trying to, really fill the void of loneliness. But do you, the people in your space, and I'm sure you've got some good people on your side, but a lot of people, I'm sure, from past and present. Yeah, right, and it's okay, we all have friends in different spaces. But do you think that anyone's really making the effort to be better?
No, not at all. No one's trying to reach their full potential. And it's quite disheartening, and it's quite sad to realise. Like, even still myself now, like, I've been through a lot and I'm still going through a lot more than what a lot of people would generally go through in a lifetime. And I still don't feel that I'm even halfway to my potential of what I can achieve.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really try to push people to be the best versions of themselves, but it's just I don't know what it is in society in this day and age, but people just don't want more for themselves, and if they do, not a lot of people are acting on it.
Yeah, and I would agree. And I think no matter how much you learn, you're always learning. When I don't know, remember when you were like 16 years old? I mean, I think 16 is quite a precipice age because hormones are changing.
Yeah.
You know, for women, they get their period.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're having sex for the first time. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's a
And
big age.
it's a massive age, right? And you know, you're not quite an adult yet. You're still a kid, but you're not quite an adult.
Yeah.
And remember back then, you thought that you fucking knew everything. Remember when anyone tried to tell you what to do and you thought, nah, like put your foot down. You were really smart.
I was so heavily sport orientated. I remember being in school and there's always that drug group at school that smoked weed. And I just remember looking at these kids and be like, yous are fucking disgusting. Because I'd never touched drugs, never drank up until I was about 17, 18.
Wow.
But I was so driven for football. Like, I played football from when I was 4 up until I turned 18. And I was, me and all the boys that I went to school with, played football with, we were all the same. Like, we just looked at these boys and were like, people that do drugs are gross, smoking, yuck, like. And then, I don't know what happened, I just sort of turned 18 and literally from the day I started clubbing, on my 18th birthday, 2 weeks later, I quit football.
No shit.
I sat with my coach and I just said, sorry, man, like, it's just not me anymore.
Yeah. So, you know, that's huge, right? Because playing football from 4 to like essentially 18,
was
I
my
would say
whole
you're
life.
pretty skilled.
Yeah, I was semi-professional. I was playing all the BPL leagues in Brisbane. I was getting paid, not well,
Yeah.
but I was getting paid a weekly fee to play football.
Holy shit. So tell me about your like, did you have a good family growing up?
Yes, very. I did. So I was always given just about everything that I wanted. My parents literally worked to their bone, like struggled, but they always, especially my mum, my parents were never together. So my mum and my stepdad, me and him have a very good relationship now, but growing up, it was quite traumatic, quite violent, quite aggressive. I'm not going to go into too much details because, like I said, we are on very good terms now, and I do have a lot of respect and love for him because I still look at him and I think I wouldn't be where I am today without him. As bad and traumatic as my childhood may seem to some people, I still look at it in a positive way. So I won't sit here and slam him for what he done, but my parents, especially my mum, like I said, she always gave me everything that I wanted. Always made sure that I got what I wanted. Even I remember buying my first double bed. My stepdad was not happy because they needed new tyres for the car, and mum went and bought my $400 double bed with a mattress, and my stepdad was like, "You ungrateful little fuck!" Like, that was meant to go to the car. And so, yeah, mum especially, I don't know, she always talks about, I was her first, and her baby, still to this day, she's exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, I think, the way that I say it is, the parents are trying to do the best they can with the tools they have, with they're provided at the time.
Yeah.
And, like, how nice and how good you've really learnt from that, and now you've turned it into something really beautiful. But what I find quite interesting is that, the loneliness part, because, everyone's upbringing is totally different. And by the sounds of it, I hear love from mum, but, obviously a bit tumultuous with the stepdad. So tell me, like, when did this loneliness for you really start to kick in?
To be honest, I'm not actually sure. Like, I was always, the class clown, always surrounded by heaps of boys at school, always had a good, close group of mates. Like, there was 30 or 40 of us that either we all played football for school together, but then we all played against each other in different teams for club. And, like, we literally went from grade 8 to grade 12, turned 18, all started clubbing together. And I got engaged quite early, 22, and that's when I started doing what I was doing. And for the first, year, 6 to 12 months, like, I never touched anything because I never had a desire for anything because I'd never really done drugs. So when I started doing what I was doing, I didn't really know what it did.
Yeah.
But then it sort of just 6, 12 months went by and I sort of just started dabbling in it a little bit. And it just took full control of my life.
What was your first fiance like or partner? The girl that you proposed to.
Yeah, like it's probably not a topic to talk about. Like she is still dating what was a close mate of mine.
Yeah, okay.
He just got out of jail recently, and from what I've heard, they're already of child. So I'm not going to sit here and say too much negative things about her.
Yeah.
I don't wish anything negative for her. I wish them all the best. What I did to her was not obviously nice. So I put her through a lot of shit.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like we both had our negative sides to us.
Yeah.
You know, she wasn't the best person. I turned quite bad from the drugs.
No, yeah, it sounds to me that, again, like I said, the whole, even with your stepdad, you have whatever thing has been thrown your way, whatever shit you've done, and you can own how, you were a shit person back then, or you did some shit things, because I feel like the intention's always there, but the loneliness can really take over, and then we start to become like you're really chasing this thing, and then you push people away, but you want them in there. So it's a game.
It's a selfish thing. I do look back at it now, and I always say to myself, like I was just such a selfish person.
Yeah.
Especially to the women in my life.
Yeah.
Like I never wanted them to go meet anyone else and be happy, but I didn't want to commit. But I'd just keep them on that string for years and years, and multiple girls at a time. Like it was just, I look back at it now and I'm just like, fuck, you were a shit person. Like I know at heart I have a good heart, but I made shit decisions.
Yeah. Well, you know what? To really lighten the load a little bit now, know that, you're not the only one out there that does that and has done that. And you're a minority now who's sitting here and really owning it, because not a lot of people do, and that's the difference.
And like a lot of women confide in me now because they know I've been like that. Like close female friends of mine, like they'll come to me with their issues with their males, and like I'll just be completely open with them. I'm like, look, this is the same shit I did when I was younger. Like I'm telling you now, like that'll want you.
Yeah.
Like so, like I'm not obviously throwing anyone under the bus or whatever, but like especially if it's a close female friend of mine, I'll just be completely brutally honest with her. I'm like, look, this is the exact same shit I used to do.
Oh my God, thank fuck for that. Like we need people like you. Do you know that movie? What's that movie called? How to Be Single, not How to Be Single. He's just not that into you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you know what? I hear women all the time just like, really they're in situationships, or they're just like they're dealing with the bare minimal. So for all the women out there at the moment, right?
Yep.
What is the one thing that you would do that maybe isn't obvious, that really strong women along, that you're seeing happen a lot now too?
I would spend a lot of money on women to make them feel appreciated. Bags, shoes, jewelry, nights out, apartments, treat them to a weekend away. That was my way of making myself feel like a good person, that I was giving them the attention that they needed. My love language is gifts and acts of kindness. So like to me, spoiling these girls was my way of showing them love. But deep down I knew that as soon as I left here, I was going to see someone else, or, I was texting 3 or 4 other girls at the same time.
Yeah, okay, there you go. So you're saying that, and most of these girls would probably think that they were the only one at the time.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like a lot of these girls thought that we were together.
Yeah, wow. Okay. So, and with the girls that you know now, is the same shit happening like that with them?
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
It happens like, and girls will come to me with guys that I know, but I'm not going to throw them under the bus. But like in my head, I'm like, fuck, like, and I don't throw them under the bus, but I'm just sort of sick. And I'm like, look, just sit back. And I tell this to my little sisters all the time. I'm like, if you don't feel like you are being treated correctly, do not hang around. Do not settle for anything less than what you think you deserve. Because that's, if you settle for shit, that's what you think of yourself.
I was just going to say that comes down to self-worth, right? Why would you treat yourself the way?
Because my little sister, I think she's fresh, 18, she's 19 in December. She had her first boyfriend, and she stayed at my house one night, and she was like, oh, can I talk to you? I said, yeah. She's like, oh, my boyfriend's not really treating me well. Like, I just feel like I'm putting in a lot of effort and not getting reciprocated. And like, me and my sister, we're not close. Like, she's, into her bands and gigs, and dresses quite weird and very opposite to me. Very, very opposite. And so like for her to come to me, I was just like, fuck, okay, she's clearly wanting my advice.
Yeah.
And I just sat to her and I said exactly what I said before. I said, Maddie, if you settle for this shit, that's just a way that you are saying that you consider yourself shit.
Yeah. 100%. You know, also, I just got this excitement that rolled over me because look at you now. Oh my God. Look at you, your sister, whom you have nothing in common with, essentially, right?
Not at all.
You're like just complete opposites, and she's confiding in you. And in fact, you know how hard it is for like family to want to confide in one another, especially an older brother for a younger sister. That's the energy that you're giving off right now, right? So tell me, when was the moment that you were like, nah, that's it, I'm changing?
So when I met my Mrs. Rani, I was still partying quite heavily most nights of the week. And I actually met her the weekend. So, okay, so yeah, this is a bit of a fucked up story, but we'll talk about it because it's funny.
We're here for it.
We all talk about it.
Yeah.
It was my weekend before I was meant to go to jail back in 2019. Had court on the Wednesday. This was the Friday. I was with my girl who she thought we were together at the time. I was almost living with her. Staying at the W. We're like, we'll go out, have a few drinks. Went to Maya, got a booth. It was just me and my missus. And I'd always frothed my current missus on Instagram. Always had a little bit of flirtatious chit chat on Instagram, nothing crazy. And I was in Maya and she just walked past me and I said, fuck, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, I'm just here with some friends. And I said, oh, well, she goes, I'm just getting some stuff. I said, well, I've got stuff. Why don't you just party with me? I'll bring the girls into my booth.
Yeah.
And then went back to the apartment and my missus, who I was there with, she ended up cracking the shit. She's like, get these girls out. Like me and my mate had the strippers, because my missus is an ex-stripper. Her and her friends were all dancers. So we were all partying and then my missus come out. She's like, can you get rid of these strippers? Like, I don't want them in the room. Like I said, no, you're not ruining my last weekend before I go to jail. Like either you fuck off or you get amongst it. And she's like, well, I'm going to bed. I said, so I packed her bags, put it in the hallway. I said, you're out of here. You're not doing this. We're not doing this right now. And she wouldn't leave. So I just went downstairs, got another room. And I ended up taking my missus and her friends to another room and just having an orgy.
Oh my God. Okay. One.
And that was,
love that for you.
That was how we met. And we never spent a night apart since.
So, and how long ago was that?
That was three years ago in February.
3 years ago. Okay, so I also seen, and that's, I mean, one, how cool that it seems like you both are going on this journey together, you and your current partner, because didn't you both compete together, or?
Yeah, so we competed. I think Kai was, 1 and a bit, and then we both decided to do bodybuilding together. I just had this epiphany one day. I come home after a check-in with my coach, and I said, babe, I'm doing it. She said, well, I want to do it. I said, well, do it then. Find a coach and I'll pay for it and let's do it. But with my missus, like I speak very massively on this. She never once come into my life and said, hey, you need to stop doing what you're doing. Like, it's a bit much. Like, even all the benders, like she would go home at night, sleep and come back at 6 p.m. the next day while me and the boys are still going. Wow. She never once ever bended with us. Never. And she never once come to me and said, hey, like what you're doing is pretty fucked up. Like, you really need to stop. But there was just, my missus worked at a health food store as well, very heavily into gym. And I don't know what it was, but she just forced me to want to change.
That's incredible. And you know what? She sounds like an amazing woman, by the way. So I think you both are really lucky to have one another. I say this, that oftentimes people think that you need to be the best version of yourself to meet someone. But that's falsified because all you need to do is you just want to be better. And I know that at the time you were still bendering, but
and like we still drank and partied on weekends together, like in a group. But yeah, I completely immediately stopped the during the week stuff. And then what happened was when she fell pregnant after like 2-3 months of being together.
Yeah, wow.
And I was actually on a bender. And she messaged me on the Friday and she goes, hey, I need you to come home. We need to talk. And she never, ever once, ever asked me if I was out drinking or bending with the boys. She wouldn't even contact me. She'd just sit at home and wait for me to come home. Never once. And I turned to the boys and I said, bro, she's fucking pregnant. I know it. And they're like, really? I said, yeah. And I'm not dealing with that. Can't turn my phone off, put it in the corner. And I said, nah, not doing that right now. It's Friday.
Wow.
I've still got the whole weekend. Like it's, I'll deal with it. Turn it on Saturday. And you know what the most fucked thing was? She was on level 6 and I was on level 5.
Oh my God.
I was just downstairs in another mate's apartment.
Yeah.
And I don't even think she knew that I was downstairs. I think she just assumed that I was in some apartment somewhere. And turned it on Saturday, hey, like, you know, I don't ask you to come home. Like, I really need you to come home. And I said, no, fuck this. Again, in the corner, not dealing with this. Waddled in Monday morning, and I knew straight away. I said, have you got your period yet? And she's like, nah. I said, look, I'm going to go to bed. I'll deal with this when I wake up. And then, yeah, woke up and she was sitting there with the pregnancy test. And, yeah, we just sort of, from that moment, I went almost completely sober. But from my bender days, I had two seizures. And the seizure medication actually caused me to break out in hives, but internal hives, when I would get hot. So I couldn't be in the sun. Being on walks, I would get this internal itch that would just send me mad. And so I didn't actually train for 8-9 months.
Holy shit.
And that sort of sent me on a spiral again.
Yeah.
And that's when I started drinking and partying real heavily again. And then one night, went to the strippers, got kicked out. The girl's like, hey, come back to mine. We're still partying. I said, yeah, sweet. Went home, stupidly got in my car, drove there. And on the drive home, I don't know exactly if I fell asleep or had a seizure, but hit that pole at 90 Ks and completely rode off my car.
Fucking hell, Trey. So, okay, and this is whilst your current partner was pregnant?
She was 6 months pregnant at the time.
Okay, so let's just give her a massive credit right now, and then back to you. Is one like we see women, you know, getting pretty aggro over like far less, far less.
Literally.
Same with men too, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not on anyone's side. I'm just talking about the reality of how people can exacerbate something because they're just really uncomfortable with themselves. So your partner sounds like a fucking great woman, and the fact that you waited till Monday, knowing it was on Friday, and she still was good, and then you still carried on, right? Like that's huge. And it sounds like, you know, as amazing as she is, so are you, by the way. You've both just met. And, you know, like I said before, you know, you don't have to be the best versions, but you just have to want to be better. And so she would have been here and you would have been there essentially in this growth. And then you come and you've met and now you're here and you're doing it together. Right. And that is what I believe is really important in relationships is about just understanding and wanting to grow together. It's the moment that someone becomes stagnant that it can go skew.
It can unsettle the whole relationship.
But fuck, so were you injured when you had that accident?
Surprisingly, not a single scratch except bruises from the seatbelt. A random guy pulled over and he's like, man, get in, I'll drop you to the hospital. I said, nah, drop me home. Because like I said, no injuries. And like the whole passenger side of the car, big Ford Ranger, caved in on the front seat. So if I'd hit the driver's side or had a passenger, they'd be dead or I'd be dead.
What do you put that down to?
I really don't know. Like, I grew up very religious. My mum still to this day is extremely religious. And I do believe in God, but I don't preach it. And I just think God had other plans for me that day.
Yeah.
Really.
Fucking oath. It's like sometimes...
I got goosebumps thinking about it.
Do you know what? So did I.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you've seen the photos of the car. Like,
I haven't.
I'll show you a bit later, but you'll be sick. People that I show, they're like, how the fuck are you alive?
I just got goosebumps again. Okay, so I've spoken about this before, and I speak about this ripple. So that I believe that there sometimes has to be. So we call it the poke, the punch, and the knockout. Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay, so the poke is when the universe goes, "Oi, hey, like pay attention, motherfucker," right? And you don't listen. Yeah. And then you go and like you feel it a little bit, and then you get a punch, and it hurts, and it hurts. You're like, man, the universe is like, listen, if you don't fucking listen to me today, something big's going to happen. Yeah. And then you let it go.
You know what? That's this whole theory that you're explaining, it's literally like the seizures. Yeah. The whole internal itch from the seizure medication, and then, the car crash.
The knockout. That was the knockout. Yeah. So then, you know, two things can still happen. You then go... You have the knockout and you don't listen. Yeah. And then what we do, people just repeat the same pattern over and over again. Yeah. So, you know, it sounds to me like even like through your whole life, you've had a few knockouts, like more than many people. But for you, the knockouts were very important. It's almost like a big staple moment in your life because I look at you, I mean, maybe the same way you look at me, like, you know that I'm helping people and I love what I do. Yep. And I've had quite a few knockouts in my life as well. And I think, you know, even yesterday, we can quickly talk into yesterday, You messaged me, which we message each other every week on a Monday.
Yeah.
Happy Monday, have the best week,
Yeah.
can't wait for our chat.
Smash your goals.
Smash your goals,
Let's
right?
get it.
And you'd messaged me yesterday morning and you were like, hey, Rhi, I can't wait for tomorrow. And you spoke into some things that you maybe just wanted to talk about. And I didn't reply. I'd see the message. I didn't reply. And I turned my phone off. And then I turned my phone back on and you'd message me like, are you okay?
Yeah, it got to like, I messaged you in the morning, then 4 p.m. and I was still no response. And I was like, something's not right.
Yeah, and you sent me, are you okay, with little sad eyes? And I was like, fuck. And then I sent you a voice message. And I was so honest with you. And I was like, I'm not okay. I'm actually not. I've just turned my phone off all day. And I don't even know if I want to be around people at all, like this weekend. And I'm sorry to say this. And I think why I said sorry is because I know that you believe in me. And we had this on today. And I almost felt bad that I'm now showing up and I'm not the person that you thought that I was in your eyes. And that's how I'm looking at it, right?
Yeah.
And then I sent you this message and your reply was, it's all good, we can postpone. Like, I hope you're okay, whatever. And then I replied to you, no, we're still doing it.
I thought your big unloading of messages was you, trying to say, hey, I'm actually not in a good space. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
So that's how I took it straight away.
Well, I didn't want to. I really didn't want to because I did what I did. And the reason I didn't want to is because I didn't know how to even own my own feelings yesterday. I was lost in this spiral.
Yeah.
And then the moment that I said to you that I want to do this today, I was like, I got up. And I think I sent you another VM and I was like, you could probably already hear it in my voice. I'm already better.
Yeah.
Because I owned it.
Yeah.
And yesterday was really important for me because I needed to, I'm going through my own shit. And people just assume.
As everyone is.
As everyone is, right? But most people go through those moments and then they don't choose to change, right? That was my little bit of a level up yesterday, knowing that today, I took myself to the gym early this morning and I'm here, right? But obviously I would have loved to just switch my phone off all weekend and I'll do shit, right? Not go to the gym or whatever.
Yeah.
But I know now I already feel better going to the gym and already now I love being here with you and having this chat. So most people don't. And so for you to do what you've done and now doing what you're doing is massive. So can I ask you this question? What's going on in the next few years for you?
So as a lot of people would know, I got arrested in November. Already on parole for that incident back in 2019 that I spoke about earlier. And when you're on parole and you get new charges, no matter what happens, even though I got bail on them, you go straight to jail. Got raided, nothing in the house, in the watch house. And I was told, my lawyer's like, don't worry, I'm getting you out. I said, yeah, okay. So I didn't even know I was going to jail. The coppers asked me, they're like, mate, you want to get some shoes? I was in my Birkenstocks. And I was like, nah, fuck that. Why? And they're like, oh, okay, sweet. And then I got in the car, they're like, mate, I kissed my missus and I said, babe, I'll be back. We got in the car and they're like, mate, you're not coming home. I said, what do you mean? They're like, mate, you're fucking going to jail. And I was like, oh, and I still then didn't grab shoes. They're like, because I didn't know if you're wearing shoes on the outside that are sneakers, you take them in with you. Oh. So if you don't have shoes, you only get thongs or little 3 Velcro things that no one wears unless you're fucking got no money or can't get shoes inside.
Yeah.
And still then, all I said was, well, fuck, can someone just run inside and tell my missus because she's mentally thinking that I'm going to be coming home.
That's heavy. That's heavy. Do you know what, actually? I remember when you put on your Instagram, it must have been December?
Nah, so I was inside December.
January? I don't know, whenever you put
got out February.
Because I'm thinking, where's Trai? He's disappeared. And then you put on your Instagram the photo, I think. And I was blown away. Because, I know that you've done, I thought that was all over in the past. So sorry, continue.
Like I said, did my 3 months, got out in February. Got new charges 2 weeks from being out. They got a lot more stuff on me when I was away. Got out, got new charges. And now it's just a matter of when I go back to jail and how long. We'll 100% be going back. It's just a matter of how long for. But pretty much when I was in jail, jail's sad. Jail is very sad.
I can imagine. Oh, fuck.
So I didn't know. I honestly thought in the watch house, I was like, sweet, I'm just going to go in. I'm just going to train, be all good. Like, it is what it is. Cop this on the chin. No need to stop what I'm doing. No need to sit and feel sorry for myself. Like, I'm just going to go in, keep doing my training, make sure I train every day. I get in there. There's no gym. I said, fuck, I thought jails had gyms. And this guy's like, nah, bro, I haven't had gyms in years unless you're like in the privileged part of the jails where you have your own gym, or at certain jails there's gyms, but at the first one that you go to, which is the remand centre, no gym.
Oh my God. That's actually fucked.
Just 2 medicine balls and a dip bar and a chin-up bar.
No way.
And I was just like, well, fuck.
What am I going to do?
Yeah, I'm like, what do I do?
Like, shit, you're thinking I'm going to come out of this ripped.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just get shredded, come out looking mad.
man.
It'll be all good, like no stress. And yeah, the boy's like, nah, bro, no gym.
Fuck, how long were you in there for?
3 months.
Oh my God. So how was it 3 months?
Okay, so let's talk about like arriving at jail in the holding cell, getting processed. Very anxious because I was like, what? My stepdad did a lot of jail. So all my stories, all my knowledge of jail was from him. Like, he's like, yeah, brother, when you get in there, you find the biggest cunt and you fucking flog him. Like, that's how you assert your authority. But that was him telling me when he was a kid, like, that's the shit he used to do. And that was sort of my mind thought over my process over jail. So I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to find the biggest cunt. I'm going to have to fucking flog him.
Yeah.
But go in and it was totally different to what I expected. Everyone's quite chill. Everyone, to be honest, a lot of people are quite nice. But the thing that got me was the drug use.
What? Really? Hang on. In jail?
So they're all shooting up what's called Suboxone. It's like Listerine strip.
Okay.
But it's a substitute for heroin. It's called Suboxone. So
Never heard of that in my life.
out here, if you get prescribed from your doctor, it's less than $1 a strip. And in jail, it's $1,000 a strip.
Oh my fucking God. So wait, do you mean the Listerine strips?
It's the same process. Listerine strip, you put it on your tongue.
Oh, sorry.
But it's not. But that's what it is, a strip.
Oh
But
my
it's not a
God.
Listerine strip. It's these Suboxone strips.
How are they getting these types
People
of things?
put it up their ass, smuggle it in.
Fuck me.
Guards were bringing it in. And I remember my first day, I was on the phone to my mum and I turned around and there's 4 boys using the same needle, sitting out in the open, putting it in each other's neck. And I was just like, Mum, what the fuck am I doing here? I was like, you should see what I'm looking at. Obviously, you're not going to sit on the phone because they listen to the phones, so I'm not going to sit and say, oh, bum, there's fucking boys shooting up.
Wow.
But so at BCC, out of 100 boys, there was like 12, 13 of us that didn't shoot up every day. Like, that's how bad it is.
Jesus, I'm flabbergasted. I'm shocked, right? Okay, so with all that going on, like, one, no gym, the drug use, your ex, used to fucking ex-bender and be like a serial drug user. How was it, like, for your mindset for those 3 months?
So I remember on my first 2 days in there, I was massively in my own head, obviously, anxious, wondering what's going to happen, where am I going to end up? What's next from here? And all I could think about was my daughter. That's all I could think about. And I journaled to myself on my second morning, and because on my first day, the boys were training. They have full jail workouts. It's crazy. The boys, the training they do in there is like something you'll never see before.
Yeah.
So fit. And I joined in, struggled, and I went back to my room and I wrote down to myself, I would promise myself on my daughter's life that I will train every day. Like, I will not let her down. Like, I say this to myself, I've said this since she was born, like,
Yeah.
if I fail or quit, I'm failing and quitting on her. That's my mind process around everything that I do in life now.
No, that's really beautiful, and I think sometimes it's nice to have something else to focus on other than ourselves, because we do forget that we sometimes choose to not want to choose ourselves sometimes, but we're choosing ourselves for someone else, and that's beautiful.
Even like my partner, like, she just handled it like an absolute weapon. Just got on with life. Did what she needed. She was at the jail on the day that I got there, put money in my account. Like I was so stressed because the boys were like, bro, you need to have money. Like you can't use the phones. And I was like, fuck, I don't even know if my missus knows any of this, and I can't call her to let her know. But thank fuck that my lawyer had said, hey, Trey's on his way to here. You need to go there and put money in his account so it's in instantly. Because if you do it via the website, it won't go in for a few days.
Yeah.
And I managed to get my, I think it's, what's it called, like an induction call or some shit. You get one free call. And I said, babe, like you need to come put money. She goes, I've already done it. And just the biggest sigh of relief. And I was like, holy shit, like, thank fuck.
That honestly, yeah, what a weapon. What a weapon of a woman. So you're journaling about your daughter, and so your daughter's your driver essentially. So that's the second day. So
and then pretty much just continue on with what I need to do. Like I said, I train everyone. So the boys, okay, so the sad thing about jail is 95% of boys in jail are missing most of their teeth. Like, because they're all drug addicts. Everyone you talk to talks about shooting up, heroin this, heroin that, meth. Like, I've never had so many conversations about meth and heroin. And for someone that's such a big partier and bender, I've never seen it before. Never seen meth or heroin.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, I was just, like, blown away that everyone, that's all they talk about. Oh, yeah, I was driving this hottie, pulled over, had a shot, kept driving. I was like, oh, yeah, with the missus, just having pipes. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, where do you guys, what do you guys do on the outside? Like, I've bended, but I've never, ever had these conversations before. And like, they were wigging out on me because I'd never shot up before. And
wow.
they're like,
imagine being the minority. I mean, like, people are looking down on you for not shooting up.
They're like, what? You've never jabbed, never shot up? I said, no way. They're like, oh, bro, that's mad. And I'm like, bro, where I come from, that's normal.
Oh my God.
No, I don't associate with people, or not that I don't associate, but just no one that I've hung out with or been around with, technically associated with, has done that.
Yeah, I'm blown away at the fact. I mean, I think you see this shit on movies, right? You see, like, the heaviness, and there are docos obviously with people in jail, but like the craziness to think, like, just what you've just said, and I know you, and now you've been in it, and there's no gym essentially, and there's so much drugs. Like, that blows my fucking mind. And
the boys that were running the unit, so that every unit has 8 workers. And the unit workers, they obviously, a lot of the boys don't have good tattoos. It's all home job or all jail tattoos. Like, they're all missing their teeth. So I rolled in, nice teeth, nice tattoos. They're like, okay, this guy probably does well for himself. And they all sort of just gravitated towards me. And they're like, man, do you need anything? Do you have shoes? I said, nah. I went to walk out with those 3 Velcro strap things. They said, nah, put them in the bin. You do not wear them. I said, I don't have shoes. They're like, what size are you? I said, 11. Brand new pair of white Asics rock up at my door. They said, bro, do you have money? I said, yeah, I think so, but buy-up's not for another week. They said, what do you eat? I said, I don't know. What do you eat in jail? And they're like, we got heaps of oats, tuna, cereal. Like, what do you want? I said, man, anything right now. And they said, all right, bro, we'll bring you up a whole bunch of stuff. When the chiefs open your door, just grab it. Tuna, oats, rice cakes. Like, the boys just loaded me up. And I was just like, that was a massive relief.
Yeah.
To know that I was in a group that, technically ran that unit, and I was appreciated and liked, and, I fit in with those boys.
But, so let me ask you this, right? So obviously, you look good, and there's a respect part, but energy is fucking massive. So imagine old Trey 4 years ago rocked up, pre the way, whatever, probably same tattoos, maybe still the same teeth.
No, yeah.
But your ego and your whole energy would have been completely different to what it is now. Do you reckon you would have got the same respect back then as you would have now?
To be honest, like, I reckon I would have caved in and given in to the drug use. And anyone that is a somebody in jail, don't associate with people that do drugs.
Yeah.
So if I'd rolled in and just fucking started shooting up and, carried on, I would have been a nobody. I would have gotten nowhere in jail.
Yeah.
And it's not even the fact that I got somewhere. It's just the fact that other people in the jails gravitated towards me because, 1, I don't use. 2, I was running boot camps. The boys were calling me the commander in jail because I just had everyone training. I haven't run since I was fucking playing football when I was 18, and we were running laps all morning. Like, that was our workouts. Like, we'd do 10 squats, 10 runs, 9 squats, 9 runs, and we're doing that daily, and then we'd do a full body circuit. Like, and the boys like, oh man, like, is it all right if I train with you tomorrow? I said, yeah, bro, fucking oath. I said, but the one rule is, you don't just do one day. You want to train with me? You train every day. I said, we don't miss. We don't not train. And every day they're like, oh, bro, I'm a bit sore. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Oh my
I said,
God.
I told you, but number one rule is if you want to train with me, you don't skip a day.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of people that had never trained before, all of a sudden there's 20, 30 of us running laps, doing fucking burpees, bear crawls, handstand push-ups, dips, chin-ups, squats. Like it was cool.
I'm actually tearing up at the moment, right? Because like you said at the very beginning of this conversation, you're in awe of me. I'm in absolute awe of you, Trey. Like that, there's not many people that you meet and, they've been to jail for essentially.
It's not the most common thing.
It's not the most common thing, right? But you've gone to jail and you've done that. Like you've inspired the men that lacked all the inspiration, right? You inspired men in jail who some of them probably were doing drugs. Maybe they stopped and they started working out with you, or even just you being there created this whole ripple effect. And that's fucking powerful.
So the one thing is, I ask my missus every day, I'm like, are you all right? She's like, I'm good because you're good. So she was like, if you were inside, she's like, if you were inside and I know that you were doing it tough, I would be out here struggling. She goes, but I know that you're in there.
Yeah.
I know that you're in there and you're training every day. You're doing what you need to do to survive. You're happy. You're good. So I have no reason to not be good out here.
Yeah,
And I was just like, fuck, like not many females,
No.
have that mindset. Like a lot of girls, like in jail, all you hear on the phone is, you fucking putrid cunt, dog slut. Like the missus either giving them a hard time for being in jail, cheating on them, or just making their life misery. And that's all you hear all day, boys just abusing their missus or their family members. And I'm just like I count my blessings every day that I had a missus that did what she did while I was in jail.
Yeah, fuck, honestly. I can't wait to meet her because she sounds really awesome, man.
And even like when I got out of jail, like my best mate was like, mate, your missus, no one could do what she just did. No one.
Yeah,
like, just took it by the horns, did what she had to do to survive, and just powered on with life, just acted as if nothing ever happened.
And you have a daughter. So imagine having a young child and then your partner just going to jail and then having to be a single parent essentially. Like, honestly. So
I don't know how she did it. Like I struggle having Kaya for more than 2 days by myself, let alone 3 months with no help. Like, yeah, we had family checking in on it all the time. Like, touch wood that we all have. I got my dad and his wife, my mum, and then her parents. So we have 3 lots of grandparents that realistically are all, like, we have good relationships with all of them. So I was grateful for that. And I had 3 or 4 good mates that were, like, checking in on her daily.
Yeah.
Putting money in my account, making sure she was good, just so that was what made me. And I said the same thing, like, me knowing that she was good out there made me, because if I knew that she was out there struggling,
and you can't do anything about
exactly
it. I can
right.
imagine.
Like it's just that's what would have broke me.
It sounds like a massive team effort in regarding that space. But you're absolutely right. She, like, just her saying that to you just would have made you feel so much more comfortable. So 3 months there, and then you've obviously you come out, and now what's happening. Like you.
Okay, so obviously come out to nothing. Money, bank accounts closed. No businesses. All my businesses closed. Near nothing. And only qualification I have is I'm grateful that I went through and completed it, is my plumbing apprenticeship. So when I was inside, I was writing down business ideas every time one come to my head as to how I can get out and just make money quickly, like just fall into something and make money, like not planning these big multi-million dollar companies. Just, okay, when I get out, what can I do straight away that's going to put food on my table? And honestly, plumbing was the furthest thing I was thinking about, because I stopped plumbing in 2019, and I sold every tool I had, and I told myself I'm fucking never going back to construction because fuck that. And in my head I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet. But I let my license expire, and I was like, fuck, am I gonna have to do my apprenticeship again? So I rang Rani and I said, babe, you need to go to Todd, which is one of my not childhood, but we went to school together, and he's a guy that I still keep in contact. I actually got him his apprenticeship with my boss, and he's still there. And I said, can you ring Todd and just see if he can ring the QBCC, which is the Queensland Building Construction, some bullshit.
Yeah.
And I said, just find out what the process is to reinstate my license. And a few days went by, and she was like, hey, Todd went in, seen them, and all it is just a form and a fee. And I said, oh, thank
Fucking lucky.
God. I said, well, can you just sort that out? So because they won't let you work. It's weird. A lot of companies won't let you work unless you have your physical card on you. So you can be qualified, but if you don't have your card from the QBCC in your hand to give to them, they're like, oh, I don't know, it's weird. Like even my boss I did my apprenticeship with, he's like, oh, I can't classify you as a tradie until you have that physical card.
Stupid legalities, honestly.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I said, can you just sort it? So by the time I get out, the card's there ready to go. She did. And to be honest, I still didn't even go back to plumbing because in my head I was like, I'm going to have to spend 10 grand on tools
Yeah.
to just get started again. And I said, I don't have 10 grand. Like, what the fuck am I going to do? So I rung a mate. A mate actually rung me when he found out because this guy was hassling my mum because my mum's his accountant. Every day, is Trey all right? Is Trey all right? Is Trey all right? And my mum's ringing me. She's like, hey, Troy's doing my head in because I hadn't told anyone I was out.
Yeah.
And she was like, Troy's doing my head in. Can you just ring him and let him know you're out? Like, he rings me daily.
Yeah.
And I rang him and he was like, Trey? I said, yeah. He's like, oh, bro, thank fuck you, back. And he actually owns a big roofing company. And he was like, man, what are you doing for work? And I said, bro, I got nothing. I was actually going to hit you up. And he's like, can you start tomorrow?
Oh my God.
I said, can you just give me a few days to sort my shit out?
Yeah.
I said, I don't even have work clothes, man. I said, I don't have any tradie gear anymore. I said, let me just go buy some, work pants and some high vis or some shit.
Yeah.
And I said, then we'll start. I think this was a Wednesday or a Thursday. I said, I'll start Monday. And started roofing with him and just sort of realised that, there is a lot more money to be made in construction as a qualified plumber. I rang a mate that I used to work with and he was a civil plumber. So civil is all big machinery. You don't really need many tools. So I rang him. I said, man, you reckon Matty will take me on? And he goes, I'll ring him. He goes, yeah, he will, but in like 2 weeks. I said, yes, sweet. And then, so sort of just, because my mindset was...
Had you done tickets before? Like, how do you get qualified to go into that? Or you just have to know someone or kind of have the gist of what to do?
No, not even that. Like, civil's easy. Like, it's all just big machinery, all lasers that, like, it's not really hard. Like, if you're running the site, different story. But as a worker, you're just putting pipe in the ground.
So you had no money essentially. And then your mate's like, come work for me. And you've been working for him since or till now?
No, so I actually... With that civil guy, him and my boss I did my apprenticeship with, they did their apprenticeships together.
Yep.
And we went and did 2 days because it was raining, so we couldn't be outside with my old boss. And I just fell in love with house plumbing again. And I rang my mate, that Todd fella that was there, and I said, man, you reckon Benny would take me back? And he was like, yeah. He's like, we're so busy. He goes, give him a ring. So I rang him and I said, would you take me back? He goes, in a heartbeat. He goes, in a heartbeat. And I said, perfect. But I'd actually reached out to a guy when I got out who was in EBA, which is the big union sites.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, man, I know you work on the union sites. If anything comes available, let me know. And he's like, oh, bro, there's nothing going. And I went back to work for 6 days with my old boss. And he was so busy, this poor cunt. So busy. And this was a Friday. And I said, my mate rang me after 6 days. He's like, bro, my boss needs workers immediate start. And I said, for fuck's sake, you couldn't have rung me a week ago, man.
Yeah.
I said, I just committed.
Started with someone, yeah.
I just committed to my old boss, man, and he's so busy. If I leave him, it'll be a massive inconvenience.
Yeah.
But also, I need to chase the money right now.
Yeah.
So I sort of pulled him up on a Friday. I said, Benny, this is my last day.
Yeah.
He's like, what? What are you doing? I said, man, I got to call up to the union sites. And I've just been there ever since now.
And that's honestly what a change, right? What a change in, what you were doing, then going to jail, and just I feel like you're constantly leveling it up, right?
I just realised I got nothing. I got a family to provide for.
Yeah.
I've got my rent was fucking $1,200 a week in the house I was living in.
Jesus Christ.
So I was my wage wasn't even covering my rent. I had a little bit of money saved in the bank, and it all went to rent. And I was like, fuck, that's why I had to chase the EBA rates, because I was like, man, I can't survive. I got childcare, which was $300 something a week. Rent was $1,200 a week. I was left for $50. after everything had come out, and I said, I can't do
No
this.
way to live.
Nah.
There is no way to live. And like, I think, you know, after like everything that's going on and knowing, you know, what's about to happen in the future, which is, it's pretty unknown for you at the moment. You've just got to pretty much continue doing what you're doing and try to be happy. So, you know, as we do wrap this up, you know, what a fucking great chat. I want you to share with everyone, right? So what really gets you up in the morning?
The two girls I have at home. Like, I have my partner, obviously, and my daughter, too young to really understand what happened. But I know that I have two girls at home that will never, ever give up on me. Like, being around the drug users, EBA union sites, the drug use is so high because everyone's on good money, well, what they consider good money. All I hear about all day is drugs and drinking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm surrounded by. And like, honestly, the last 3 months, like, I have been so fucking. I even brought it up to my missus, like, oh, you know, maybe I'll introduce drinking again, like just with you at dinner with my family. And I sort of sit back now and I'm like, there's no way. Like, I have come this far, and I have these two little girls, well, one little girl and my partner at home that will never ever give up on me. There is no need for me to give up on them and what I believe in.
Yeah, that's really fucking powerful. I want to ask you one more question. What are your top 3 values?
Loyalty. Like, that's one thing I speak massively about my missus. Like, I've never ever once had to question her loyalty, ever. Like, she gets weird when a guy talks to her. Like, just never, just continuous love, just does everything she can to make my life easy. Cooks my meals, makes sure my clothes are washed, bed's made, everything. Like, just does everything she can to make my life easier. So loyalty is a massive one. Trust and respect. Respect is one thing that I not thrive on, but it's a massive thing for me. Like, if you can't show general respect, like even on these fucking job sites, like a guy said to me the other day, I walked into his unit and I said, bro, is it all right if I just come in here and work? I know you're working. And he goes, fuck. He's like, bro, because you asked like that. He goes, come in. He was like, man, he goes, what a fucking gentleman. He goes, bro, no one in this job site does that. And it fucking does my head in.
Yeah.
He goes, everyone's so rude, just comes in, does what they need to do. Like, not a single person ever asked me, because they sand all the walls, so there's dust everywhere. But I had to be like 20, 30 minutes. So I was like, man, is it all right if I come in? And he's like, fuck, because you asked like that? He goes, come on in, brother. Come on in, do your thing. And I was just like, I even got goosebumps now, because I was like, fuck, what a sad world.
I know.
What a sad world to where someone acts like that because I asked nicely if I can work in his space.
Yeah. I honestly really agree with you, and that's why I commend you so much for everything that you're doing, and even knowing that the future's unknown for you, and you still show up every day the way that you do. Like,
I don't have a choice. Like,
yeah.
like I said, I've got two girls at home that they require the best version of me. Like, if I'm not showing up every day for them and myself, like everything will go down the drain. Like, my life's already not fucked. My life's not over. I will still recover from what I have to go through. But right now, I'm just trying to be the best version of myself for them, so that my daughter remembers me being the best version of myself, and that'll be her last memory of me before I go back to jail.
Yeah.
And she'll never ever question the man that I was. And I know for a fact that she'll always be proud to call me dad. And that's my biggest drive in life, making sure that that girl is and always will be proud to say that I'm her dad.
Honestly, thank you so much for like sharing everything today. Like,
More than happy.
yeah, honestly, like I'm so grateful to even know you, to have you in my life. You're such an incredible man, and yeah, like I know that just even this conversation, the impact it will have on people that listen to it, it's going to be tenfold, because most people.
And obviously, like, I was very big not big social media presence, but I was very big on, trying to help people socially. Like, people were gravitating towards me. My DMs were full with, hey brother, how'd you do it? How'd you get sober? How do you stay so positive? And obviously, since getting out, like, I've had to just put all that in the past. But like, I still just, from this sort of chat, like, I just want people to realize, like, no matter what you're going through, no matter how hard life gets, like you have to get up every day and keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's everyone goes through their shit, and like a lot of people still come to me with their little issues. They're like, oh, fuck, this person's annoying me, and I'm in my head, I'm like, fuck, but you don't even know half the shit I'm going through, and you're coming to me, but like still, like I know, still, like I got a little apprentice at work. Poor thing, he's gone through a bit of court shit, and he's never been through it, and he gravitated towards me, and he's like, man, like my head's so fucked, and every day I'm now making him send me photos of his gratitude list.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, bro, you need to write 3 positive things that you're grateful for every morning. Start your day off, and the day you wake up, start your head in a positive process and a positive mind pattern, because it starts your day off positively instead of waking up being like, fuck, I gotta go to work, fuck, what am I doing, oh, I hate today, oh. And every day for the last 2 weeks, gratitude list every morning.
I would agree with you, and I love how we just, I'm like, last question, but I'm like, I want to keep talking, right? But you're absolutely right. The way that you start your day and the way that you end your day is very important. So the routine is going to create this whole structure in your life that's going to keep you on track. So the fact that you're doing that, and you did that in jail, and now you're doing that, and now you're getting like young apprentices to do the same thing to you and show up to you is fucking massive, right? Again, your impact is going to create so many ripple effects. And if you think back to that, that little Trey, that little boy, right? What would you say to little Trey now that would have maybe changed your trajectory when you were younger?
Just don't be scared to do anything. Like, I know it's pretty normal, a lot of like very common for people to say, but like, don't be scared to take leaps. Don't be scared to come out of your comfort zone. Like, just don't be like, this is the Australian dream. Get your house, get a kid, settle for a 4-bedroom, 2-bedroom bath, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, have a kid, have a wife, get married, and that's the Australian dream. But to me, like, this money that I'm on, like, even my foreman come up to me and he's like, man, this isn't enough for you, eh? I was like, what do you mean? He goes, this is not enough. Like, you're not like everyone else on this job site. He goes, I can see it, I can sense it. Like, you're destined for way more. And I said, brother, I am. I said, the money's not shit. I said, but bro, this is not good money. Yeah. I said, this isn't the way of living. And everyone's so complacent on these job sites because they get their 1,800 to 2.5 grand a week and they've fucking made it. They're kicking goals to them. So I know that I'll still make a difference as off social media, but I know for a fact that people will still gravitate with me, and I will help out where I can and when I can, and as much as I can.
Well, I already know that you're going to. Like, I know that you're worth way more. But you're like, your story is your story. So that's you're just doing your narrative at the moment, but you're impacting many people. Obviously.
And I know, like I said, like I will be going back to jail for a few years, probably 3 to 5 years. But I know for a fact that it's not the end. I'll still come out of jail on top, still in the same mind process, and I'll just go straight back to doing what I need to do. Yeah. Yeah. And you know that we will be there waiting whenever, cheering you on. I know for a fact. There will be people that will be there. Yeah. That was the sad thing about jail too. Like, I thought I sort of filtered getting sober, all the shit people out of my life, but then jail just really filtered it even more. Like my best mates, business partners that were, extremely close to me and my family told me that if anything ever happened to me, I've got your family, I've got your daughter, I've got you, you don't need to worry about anything. And never, not one message.
It's crazy how we think, we think people are close to us in our lives, right?
Even Christmas Day was the hardest in jail.
Fuck.
Christmas Day. Like, it's a day that's meant to be filled with family, love, joy, celebration. And I was surrounded by more drug use and like all the boys in Christmas, they start making all the brews. They get fruit and milk bottles and they add some shit and it turns into straight alcohol.
Yeah. And like moonshine?
Yeah. It's gross. They're like, man, you have to try it. And I said, bro, I'm not breaking my fucking sobriety
for moonshine.
On your fucking shit that you make in jail.
Give me something nice for us if we're going to break it.
Like the boys, they made, like all us workers, we all made a big slice, like a chocolate slice. But like there was just boys who's like, oh, I fucking hate Christmas. I'm like, bro, why? Yeah. Why do you hate Christmas? Like, it's meant to be a day that's filled with love, joy. Like, yeah, we're in here, bro. But don't ruin it for everyone else.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I said, don't bring your bad vibes around here, bro.
Yeah, fucking go in the corner.
Yeah, literally.
Get
Like,
the fuck out of here.
Go shoot up somewhere else and be happy.
Yeah, you know what, like that's, yeah, look, just again, like wrapping it all up, man, I'm so grateful for you and this chat. And, you know, I do look forward to the impact that you're going to make. And I know that obviously you've got some shit going on, you know, in the next few years, which is fucked. But like, I just know that even in that, probably even it's going to be like what Nelson Mandela, you know what I mean? Like some big's going to come from it, and I just know that from you. And yeah, thanks for today. Like,
no, thank you for having me. Thank you for. I knew this was going to be when I reached out to you and said, like, you know, do you know anyone that I can sit with? I was really, really praying that you sort of said what you said and said, hey, I would actually love to sit and talk to you. Because I knew that I'm comfortable with you. Not that we know each other well, but we know of each other and we've kept in contact over the years. But I just knew that we could flow this conversation.
Yeah, and to, you know, to touch on that too, because I've been wanting to like start something up like this for ages, like so long. And so when you messaged me, like you did the other day, that turned me back put me on a different trajectory. That day when you asked about the podcast, I was like, it's time, Rhi.
Yeah.
It's time.
It's your calling.
And here we fucking are.
Here we are.
Let's go. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Ledge.
Pleasure, as always.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing what you're doing. Keep spreading this positivity. And we will both make change in the world. I know it.
Absolutely.
I know it.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go.